the characteristics of the giver. And we're going to flip that to Genesis chapter 13. Now, if you want to read up on Abraham and how he became Abraham, you can go into Genesis and read up on it. But many of you will be familiar with how he was called to leave his country, his people, his father's household, and go to the land that God was going to show him. And so Abraham and the Medians set out, and then he and Lot and their herdsmen and their people got caught in a quarrel about how they were going to distribute this land. Have you ever found that happens? God gives you something and then everybody's fighting about what to do with it. And that's what happened with Abraham and Lot. And this is where we pick up this reading today. We're looking at Abraham, the giver, and we're going into... Okay, I said that already, so we're going to flip through that. One of the characteristics of a giver is that they are generous. In verse 9 it says this, "Is not the whole land before you? If you go to the left, I'll go to the right." So what happened? You can read the story. But he and Lot come to this place, and Abraham says to Lot, "Okay, here's all the land. There's lots for all of us. So you take your pick. You want to go left, you go left, I'll go right. You want to go right, you go right, I'll go left." He says, in other words, you make the choice. You can have it first, and I'll take what's left over. There's a generosity of spirit that says, here, you take the best, and I'll take what's left over. A generosity that wants to give the best to someone else. And so that's what he tells them. And this is, the giver understands this principle. It's more blessed to give than to receive. But the giver also knows this, that as they receive and as they give, there's more. It releases a flow. While we hoard and hang on, it blocks everything. When we let it all go, it allows God to come in and release more. And so that the giver begins to, the giver understands that principle. So he's a generous person. So my question to all of us today, are we ready to give? And all that will be given to us. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, will be poured into your lap. For the measure you use will be the measure given to you. The other part of the other characteristic of the giver from verse 14 is that they are visionaries. Verse 14 says this, "Lift up your eyes and look. All the land you see I will give to you and your offspring forever." Look up. Look out. Look at all the great resources around you. The givers have a big vision. They're not limited to their little world around them. There's a bigness about their vision. They have a big vision. They see that God is a big God who is the source of all supply and blessing to those around them. And so they have a big vision. I knew he was in Cape Town. One of the most generous men of God I've ever known. And he had this huge vision. And he understood the principle. He was a wealthy man. Because he understood the principle to make money, you have to spend it. And so he would just throw money around because he had it. But God always seemed to give it back. So he had always had more and more money to give. And he was such a generous man of God. And that's the characteristic of the giver. They're not limited to the little counting nickels, but have a big vision and a bigness about what they want to do. Big vision. Okay. They are also loyal and supportive. Now to get this, we have to flip over to chapter 14. You see, God got attacked and he got taken away and captured, and all his possessions were taken away. As soon as Abraham heard that, he rallied his troops. He took, it says, 318 men, and he went rushing off to save them. And he did. You see, that's what the giver is. They're loyal to their friends, they're loyal to their partners, they're loyal to their family. And if one of them is in trouble, they'll do everything to come alongside and help them. There's a generosity of spirit that they want to ensure that the people around them are protected and safe and blessed and encouraged, and so he risked everything, including his own life, to go and rescue and love. Givers stand by. They're loyal to their partners and their friends. And the thing is that they attract loyalty as well. Because they're loyal to the people around Salem blessed Abraham. Now Melchizedek means my king is righteousness, and he wants to bless Abraham. Salem is shortened form of Jerusalem and means peace. And you can go and read in Hebrews, he's the one who prefigures the priesthood of Christ. Abraham receives a blessing from Melchizedek, and then he returns that blessing to him by giving the tithe. The first time we hear about tithing, he gives him a tithe. He gives him 10% of whatever the seed he gives him. He gives it to Melchizedek. Why? He wants to honor the giver. He's honoring Melchizedek. The giver understands this connection between giving and receiving, receiving and giving. Now I want to just mention this whole thing about tithing. You heard me speak about this before, some of you. But tithing is an important principle. It's not a legal thing where we bonded, we try to give this and we try to give that. It's something that